All right. Page 3 of chapter 3-4. We had just learned how to write symbols and create a problem in argument form to find out if things are valid, an argument is valid or not, a compound statement is valid or not. And there are some classic common argument form. So if you're making an argument and it turns out to be this form, then you can be assured that it will be valid. So they have different names. So there's a law of detachment. And an example of that are if our team wins Saturday, then we go to a bowl game. And what happened was our team won on Saturday, therefore we go to the bowl game. And this is the setup from that. You you add the and for what actually happened, and then the conclusion is the Q. And when you do a truth table, your last column, you'll find out that it's a tautology. They're all T's. Contraposition, syllogism, disjunctive syllogism. I'll let you look at those on your own to read through, but those are valid forms, and then there are some invalid forms. Some of these, remember, you might disagree with them, but logic theory, logically speaking, these are proven things. So it's a common invalid one here. If it's Friday, then I will go to the happy hour. I'm at the happy hour, therefore it's Friday. If you do the truth table of this, it actually is going to have a false in there, so it's considered invalid. And one reason maybe you can go other days if you want to try to throw what we call logic on top of that, but it's just not going to work. Fallacy of the inverse. If I exercise every day, then I will lose weight. I didn't exercise every day, therefore I won't lose weight. Actually doesn't work. If you do this truth table, you get a false in there as well. These are logically equivalent, as in they're invalid. Okay. Fallacy of inclusive. I'm going to take chemistry or physics. I'm taking chemistry, therefore I'm not taking physics. Remember, using or, we mean either of them or both. So therefore, when you run a truth table on this, you're going to get an invalid. So let's try some of these and try to identify which ones they are. So if you eat a healthy diet, you'll live past 70. If you eat a healthy diet, that's P. You'll live past 70, that must be Q. What happened is you really made an effort to eat healthy food, so that's P. Therefore, you'll live past 70, that's Q. So that's your basic P. If then Q, what happened was a P, therefore your conclusion is Q. And if you look at what we were just looking at here, that is your law of detachment. Oops, right here. So you don't have to do a truth table to know that that is valid, because it is the law of detachment form. Okay. You can access the web at this hotel. That looks P. If you pay for Wi-Fi, you pay for Wi-Fi. That's Q. P. Q. You're too broke to. So what happened was you didn't pay for Wi-Fi. So that is a negation of Q. So you won't be able to access the web. So that's a negation of P. Therefore, negation of P. So that is the same as contraposition here. So that is valid. I mean, it sounds right, right? Law Can't really go by sounds right sometimes, but all right, next one. Um, if you watch Big Brother, you watch a reality show. If you watch reality shows, you have time to kill. That is actually another thing. So I didn't do the PQR tables. That would be even more complicated. I skipped those. But I think you can logically see that if you have time to kill, you can watch Big Brother. So you could probably follow this without really doing the R problems. I wanted you to give an example in case they came up in Alex. That's what that looks like. And if you go back to the fallacy page, I actually, did I put one with R? Yeah, right here, there's one with R, the law of syllogism, that R popped up there. But look, this is P, therefore R. And we got all this the same, and it is R, therefore P. Or R, if R, then P. So that is not quite that. So whatever this is has to be invalid because it's in not exactly the same. So if you're trying to find something that matches, it has to match exactly, or it's not one you can automatically find. Um, you plan to major in criminal justice or pre-law, P or Q. Since you're majoring in criminal justice, that means you're not pre-law. So P, so this is one of those weird ones on that page. Under this, that was that chemistry or physics one. Remember, it can be both. So you can't make that argument. So it is fallacy of the inclusive, which is an invalid form, invalid argument in this form. Okay. And the last one, botany grads either work in parks or research labs. He got his degree in botany and doesn't work at a park. Therefore, he must work at a research lab. So P or Q doesn't work at P and therefore works at a research lab. That is actually right here, P or Q, not P at Q. So this is actually a valid law of disjunction syllogism. Okay, so keep these handy in your notes.